I think it was their 25th anniversary last year. Little X Factor on the grass. Yeah, I think it was their. And then Pikachu with the spear on Atreyu. This is the tables match, so they are getting work. Ash and Pikachu full health. Welcome to Up, Up, Down, Down. I'm your host, Austin Creed, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about something going on with the channel. So, as you know, if you've been watching for long enough, you know that every year we try to bring you some new shows, change up the format of what we're doing, and so we're about at that time. And so I figured we should bring you guys in on this because you guys are the ones watching the content, you are the ones consuming all of it. So let's talk to you about it. What I want to do is just have something that you can sink your teeth into a little bit more, because I feel like when I play My Rise, it's just me making a bunch of weird noises as I'm playing a wrestling game that I'm enjoying a lot. So, and I don't know if that's what you want to hear in your headphones, just all these weird sounds. But so we're gonna try something different, and I would like to use WWE 2K to do that. And so here we go. I've seen on Twitter a lot of drama between Pokemon and God of War. So if you are unaware of this, they both just came out recently. And God of War sold, let's see, how many did they sell? I've got 19 tabs open because I was like, I gotta get this down. I am ready for this news type of show. God of War Ragnarok sold 5.1 million copies in, I believe, the first 5 days that it released, which is huge. It's the fastest selling first party launch game that has been on the platform, PlayStation, obviously. And so those are crazy numbers, which, doing a little bit of math, let me move my tabs around. So God of War is, I believe it's $60 on PS4 and then $70 on PS5. So obviously there's more numbers that go into this than what I'm about to say, but that brings me to, let's say that it's just $60 across the board, right? Which we know, like we just said, there's more expensive versions. 5.1 million copies sold. That's going to bring God of War to at least $360 million in that first 5 days. Insane. Crazy numbers. But then you look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet dropped, which is the 9th iteration of Pokemon in the series, and the 9th generation, excuse me. And so that sells for $60. And so Pokemon in the first 3 days sold 10 million copies, which is absurd. If 5.1 is absurd, 10 million is twice as absurd. And so if it's at $60 and it's sold 10 million copies, then we're looking at least $600 million, which is so much money. But the stress or the issue that I've seen on Twitter between these two games is that God of War is this visual masterpiece and everything is running smoothly. It's so much fun. The combat is good. The story is good. And Pokemon beat it out. And the issue that people are having with Pokemon is these crazy frame rate drops and these bugs. But with that said, people that are saying that are also saying this is the most fun they've ever had playing a Pokemon game. So it's kind of like, oh, when you normally hear stuff about games having bugs or a bunch of frame rate drops, you're like, oh, this game is trash. But people are saying those two things, but then saying this game is incredible. And so there's been all this drama between Pokemon and God of War, and I feel like the only way that we can really settle this is in the ring. So, ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you our first grudge match episode. We've got Ash Ketchum, and he's got Pikachu in tow, going up against Kratos, and he's got Atreyu with him in a tables match, and it will be held in the Pokemon Stadium. Let's go. All right, so here we go. Tokyo, Japan. I would imagine that Kratos and Atreyu were like, no. We're not settling for this. We're not dealing with this. Let's go find him. And Ash just won the big one finally. He's finally done it after what, 25 years? He finally won the big one. So congrats to Ash, but I don't know how this tables match is going to go for him and Pikachu. So we'll see. Uh-oh. Ash Ketchum in the building. He said, gotta catch them all. That's his full name, Ashley. Ashley Jonathan Ketchum. AJK. Jump in, your roll, your flip. All right. See, and so him and Pikachu clearly on the same page with how they want to enter the ring. So Ash not used to actually engaging in the fight when Pokemon are fighting, but now he's standing up and fighting side by side with Pikachu against Kratos. Even the lighting on him is dark. He just absorbs it. So one thing that I do want, I know that cosplay is not for everybody. I get it. I happen to love it, but again, that doesn't mean that it's for everyone. But I do think that there are specific people that should be convinced to cosplay certain things. Like, if I could somehow convince Triple H to cosplay as Kratos, I personally think, and tell me what you think too, like I told you, we're going to comb through these comments to make sure you like these episodes. I think that Triple H as Kratos on television, it would be so good. These are things that I want in life, and I hopefully get at some point. I spent 2 hours downloading different superstars that people have made, and they are very good. I thought I was good at making stuff, but to be fair, hold on. Boy! I would make my wrestling gear on these wrestling games and then send it to my gear guy, Main Event Gear. Appreciate you guys. And they would make it. And that's how I would do everything because I can't draw. But that's when I found Jonathan Davenport. When I was in developmental, I was making a comic book. A cartoon. We'll get to that. We've got our match. Ash Ketchum, Pikachu, against Kratos and Atreyu. Let's go. So yeah, I was working on making a cartoon, and I found him and had him draw all of the characters and everything. And then I was like, do you know how to draw wrestling gear? He's like, I have no clue. And so we talked about it. He started drawing gear for me, and now he makes gear for a lot of people, or draws gear for a lot of people. Then we send it off to our guy, Main Event Gear, and they hook it up. Kratos with the power. Pikachu, agile but missing. Let's talk about some of the stats for these games. And when I say stats for these games, I'm really just astonished at what Pokemon has been able to do. So when we look at God of War, like we said, 5.1 million copies sold. It's a mature game. So it's not accessible to everyone. Everyone can't buy it. Everyone can't play it. You have to be a certain age, a certain mindset. Well, Pokemon is for literally everyone. So, Ash. So, like my 5-year-old, I'm not going to let him play God of War. Not yet. But I am going to let him play Pokemon. And so, I would imagine that, a house full of screaming children that want Pokemon for Christmas, or, I don't know if people do Thanksgiving presents, but I would be more inclined to think that those screaming kids are going to get Pokemon rather than God of War, and then that's going to leave people with less money to get God of War. But then also you think about the fact that Pokemon is such a huge franchise. They did I think it was their 25th anniversary last year. A little X Factor on the grass. I think it was and then Pikachu with the spear on Atreyu. This is a tables match, so they are getting worked. Ash and Pikachu, full health. But around that time last year, I think it was, Breeze actually got me into Pokemon cards. So we started doing all the card breaking stuff. And that's when I saw all these stats about Pokemon. So I'm looking at something now. And while God of War is a great game franchise, it's so much fun. It's not fair, I think, to put it up against something as big and as diverse as Pokemon. So what do we have? God of War started up in, what I think, 06? No, God of War was 05. God of War came out in 05. Pokemon dropped in 96, so it's got 9 years on it. But also, Pokemon had, Red and Blue, and then the cartoon as well. So it's very different when you drop a game that's rated mature versus a game that's rated everyone, that also has a cartoon and plushies and toy, like all of these things that go along with it. So now you got that emotional attachment to things, and Trey was just... Oh! Wait, what? That counts? Hold on, replay that. Let me see this. Because the table was on the ground, wasn't it? I feel like the table was on the ground. Well, anyway, I didn't even get into these stats. So, let me just say them fast, I guess. So on most popular brands, right, of up to now. Dang, show me the highlight reel, because I want to see this. This is a table break. Bro, did he set up the table as the move was happening? Oh, what a team. What a team. Look at how, this is so good. Ash set up the table, and while Atreyu was going for a move, Pikachu reversed it and put him through the table. That's actually really good. That's really good. So the top 10 brands that I see, top 10 global brand licensing companies, okay? So number 10, Paramount. So they're making movies, TV shows, all that. Blue Star Alliance. Let's see. You know what? Just run the match back. Blue Star Alliance. So they own brands like Justice, Hurley, Brookstone, if you've ever been in the mall. If you've ever been in the mall. Well, I mean, I guess some people haven't. Because anyway, Brookstone has like the recliners, the massagers, all of like the fun stuff that you would see in, what's the airline magazine? Oh, it's going to bother me. But moving on. So Blue Star owns a bunch of different kinds of businesses, right? And then we go back to things. We go to Mattel, obviously, toys. We know about Mattel. NBC Universal, they're making TV. Hasbro, making toys. And so Hasbro 6. Number 5 on this list, we're going from the bottom. Number 5 is Pokemon, the Pokemon Company International, right? And that's with $8.5 billion last year in retail sales. And the year before this, in 2020, they were ranked 8 on this list. So the only ones currently above Pokemon are Warner Brothers. So, okay, movies, TV, all that type of stuff. And Warner Brothers is at 15 billion, while Pokemon's at 8.5. Then we've got above Warner Brothers, number 3, Authentic Brands Group at 21.7 billion. Now, Authentic Brands Groups owns Aeropostale, Brooks Brothers, Forever 21, JCPenney, Lucky Brand, Nautica, Nine West. So again, it is a company that has a bunch of different things underneath it that they own that bring in revenue. And that's number 3. Then number 2 is Dotdash Meredith, and that's at $35.9 billion. Dotdash Meredith is they are the largest digital and print publisher in America, and so people are always going to read things. So having the stranglehold on that is going to make you a lot of money. Then we've got at number 1, obviously, with $56 billion in retail sales last year, Disney. Duh. Disney World, Disneyland, streaming service, the whole nine. You get it. Disney is on top of things at all times. And so on that list, there's a lot of heavy hitters. But what you notice is that a lot of those groups are one large title with a ton of other things underneath it. So like, I've never heard of Dotdash Meredith, right? And that's kind of the point. So they own all these other things. I've never heard of Authentic Brands Group, kind of the point. They own all these other things. Well, Pokemon is 5th on this list, and it's just Pokemon. And I don't mean just Pokemon. Obviously, you've got cards. You've got the multiple cartoons that are now on all these streaming services. You've got the games. You've got the movies. And so having such a presence, not only in, like I said, in video games, movies, TV, but also having that emotional attachment that people have to it, because it was something that really affected our childhoods. So again, these are all reasons why I don't necessarily think that you can put God of War and Pokemon side by side and say like, oh, well, they beat them because of like what the game is. And you have to look at way more than the actual game when you're talking about these things. Because more kids are going to have that emotional attachment to Pokemon as opposed to older people having that attachment to God of War. didn't necessarily grow up with it. So it just means something different. And that's kind of my thoughts on it. It's like 17 minutes of me just not ranting, but giving my social commentary on something that's going on the internet. And I'm still kind of baffled at the way the last match ended. So we're gonna let this one run out and see if Atreyu and Kratos can get on this. Oh, okay. Big 2 out of 3 falls table match. Because we needed a longer episode. Also, these, of course, and they win again. And they win again. The Rana through the table. Like, he said, we already did this. Why are we running it back? And so, your winners in this grudge match, Pikachu and Ash Ketchum. Congratulations. You won in the ring. You won in sales. Congrats, guys. Congrats. Like I said before, let me know in the comments what you guys think. I know that you guys probably have opinions on this stuff. Tell them to me. Tell them to me. Maybe we make a show where I read through comments to do part 2 of this episode, and it's just me in front of the camera reading stuff to you guys. I would love to be able to do something like this with a live stream, so we could actually talk in real time. But schedules are a thing that are very hard to get around, so please be patient with us as we're getting you all this stuff. But thank you for watching, and congratulations again to Pokemon for winning today's grudge match. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But more importantly, make sure you always and forever keep it